Okay, artists. Today we are going to be talking about the rule of thirds, which is how artists organize composition, which means how we place the objects, where we make the focal point of our artwork. And in the rule of thirds, it's just a grid where we divide the page or canvas or photograph into thirds horizontally. So these two lines here and vertically coming down here. And then the focal points are chosen from one of these intersections. And the focal point is what you as the artist are hoping to direct your viewer to look at and give the most attention to. That's not that there isn't other stuff, but here in Van Gogh's painting, the boats are given the emphasis, the boats that are on shore. But then we use our eye and we follow the lines of the parts of the boat that are pointing out here towards this direction, and we see the boats that have their sails up out on the water. Okay. Here we're using dark value and light value to create contrast, as well as here putting the figure or focal point on this third of the canvas. Here, the artist's using the top portion, the top third, and the right third to create a shape here in this blue space. We call that the negative space, the background, that gives emphasis to the figure and the cloth. You can also do this with abstract or non-representational artwork like this piece here. And the artist has grouped shapes along this left third. They've used the triangular shape to point us across the canvas toward the upper right, but also towards the lower right. And then again down at the bottom, bringing us back upward with the diagonal lines here. The artist has made this portion up here at the upper section more of our focal point because of the brighter values, the lighter colors. The darker colors are down here. They don't contrast as much with the background, so they don't have as much emphasis. So our eye comes to here, and then it moves around, follows this semicircle, follows the triangles, follows the diagonal lines. Okay? So you are going to be creating an abstract, non-representational drawing, painting using paint. Here are some examples. Okay. So you're going to start by drawing the grid on the canvas and then creating a shape or object from on one of the focal points, and then creating patterns by drawing lines, shapes, and repeating colors to explore all of the tools and how they work. And then you're going to add one text box somewhere in your composition. So let's go ahead and open our Paint app. Mine is already open. If yours is not, you can use the search bar, type here to search. Oftentimes it will come up as one of the most frequently used items. You're looking for the little paint palette with the brush, and you're going to open that, and it will open to a new canvas. So right now, our canvas is sized so that it is off of the screen. We cannot see all of the canvas. You have two options. One is to shrink your or zoom out. The other is to change the canvas size, to resize the canvas. Okay, so you can do that with these tools here by typing in numbers. You can also just grab the edge of the canvas and pull. And so now I can be a little bit closer in, zoomed in a little bit more, and my whole canvas fits in the screen. You want to be able to see the whole canvas because as an artist, you want to use the entire canvas to create your artwork. So you shouldn't have one little tiny drawing in a portion of the paper. So we're going to start with drawing the grids, and we're going to use the straight line shape to do this. So I'm going to come across here, and a little trick is this little square that's on the canvas is halfway. So I don't want to grab that. I just want to put a little line right there to mark the halfway point. I'm going to do the same thing down on the bottom. So this square marks the halfway point on this side. So I'm just going to put in a little line there. Okay. So that's just marking my halfway. Now I know I need to put my thirds, and I'm going to want to have equal distance on either side of that halfway line. And this is going to be a little bit of a tricky test to try to align your line so it's straight. So I have that there. If I want to nudge it over a little bit, I can. And then I'm going to estimate about the same amount of space on the other side. Put my line in, and then I'm going to do the same thing going across with horizontal lines. And I think I want to move it down just a bit. And then the second one to create my grid of 9 squares. Now I could at this point, if I wanted to, start playing by, say, adding color. So maybe I'm just going to paint in a random selection of the grids. I could come in and start to draw. And with this, I'm going to think about what I want the outline of the shape to look like, what I want the fill of the shape to look like. So if I click on fill solid color, I'm going to have an outline that is purple, and I'm going to have an interior color that is white. So I can start to draw, and I can adjust this shape. Okay, and I'm going to explore different shapes here and how to manipulate them. So I'm just playing. Now I want to rotate this shape. To rotate, I'm going to come up to the menu, rotate or flip, and I want to turn it left 90 degrees. So I'm just going to go like that. Now I'm going to add in, let's see, a shape of my choosing here. So I'm just drawing that shape to create it. And I can do the same thing here. Okay. I know this is kind of silly, but it's fun at the same time. Now I'm drawing this triangle, and I don't really want the triangle that direction there, so I'm going to move it up that way. And then I'm going to click off, and I want to go here, and I'm going to come to the rotate, and I'm going to flip vertical.